My dear sisters and brothers, for our meditation this morning, when we hear this gospel, our attention is usually drawn to the trap or the snare that the Pharisees and the Herodians set for Jesus. They approach him with a kind of loaded, double-edged question. Is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? If Jesus were to say yes, he would have raised despising those who resent Roman occupation of that time. But if he were to say no, he can be accused of being a rebellion against the state. It's a carefully designed trap. But Jesus, in his wisdom, doesn't want to be in this either-or trap. He doesn't want to be in this exclusive trap or dichotomizing trap. Rather, he wants to be in an inclusive scenario. So he turned what happened to be a dichotomizing or exclusive question into an inclusive one. So in other words, he does not reject our spontaneous our responsibilities toward society, government, or civic life. Rather, what he tries to convince us is that we should not reduce life to earthly obligations alone. It goes to say that if we have duties to guard, we do have duties to guard as much as we have duties to the state and to this world. And perhaps that is where today's gospel challenges more deeply. Think about it this way. Are we faithful in paying taxes? I guess most of us. Do we continue to pay taxes even when prices rise? When inflation hurts, like today? When our budgets are stretched thin? Usually, yes. Do we sometimes complain about it? Certainly. Do we grumble when tax seasons arrive? Probably. Yes, at the end of the day, we still fulfill that obligation because we recognize it as our duty. But think of the other way around. When life becomes difficult, do we remain faithful to God, to prayer? When sicknesses visit us, do we remain faithful to God? Do we continue to find faith in God? When financial burdens weigh heavily upon us, do we still place Him first? When disappointments, failures, breakups, breakdowns, and uncertainties surround us, do we remain committed to worship, charity, forgiveness, love, service? It is often the case that we are meticulous about our worldly obligations, like taxes, while becoming casual about our spiritual ones, the heavenly duties. We would never forget a tax deadline, but we forget to pray. We would never ignore an important bill, but we may neglect the Eucharist. We worry about financial investments while neglecting our investments in eternity. The coin in Jesus' hand bore the image of Caesar. So it could rightly be returned to Caesar. But think of this. Every human person, you and I included, is created in the image and likeness of God. From the first book of the Bible. So if a coin belongs to Caesar because it bears Caesar's image, then how much more do we belong to God because we bear the image of God in us, His likeness in us? So Jesus is not merely talking about money or taxes. He's talking about our very selves. Give Caesar his coin, but give God your heart. Give to the state your taxes, but give God your faith. Give to the country your civic responsibility, but give God your worship. Your trust, your love, your obedience, your time, your talents, your strength, your gifts, and your life. Therefore, my dear sisters and brothers, today's gospel invites us to examine our priorities. If we can remain faithful to earthly duties, even when circumstances are difficult, can we not remain faithful to God even when challenges arise? If we can persevere in our obligations to the state despite rising costs, can we not persevere in our commitment to God despite suffering, illnesses, disappointments, and uncertainties? Jesus reminds us that our lives are not divided between God and the world. Rather, our earthly responsibilities and our spiritual responsibilities must work together. They are complementary. So let us ask ourselves these questions in our meditation today. In my life and duties, what does my citizenship look like? Do I feel that I am a citizen in heaven as much as I'm a citizen on earth? If not, what are the concrete ways in which I'm going to bring about a balance in my citizenship status?